wild night, Doctor.
What?
It's a wild night in the hills. I wish Dr. Cameron were back.
Oh, he's not in the hills. He's in Glasgow.
Well, it's time he was back.
Number, please. Mrs. McBain. Is that you, Mrs. McBain? What number, please?
Good day, Doctor.
Fair. Nearly blown off the road coming back.
Aye, it's a wild night, Doctor.
Yeah, it is. Hey, Janet. What's that, you?
Oh, it's white to move and mate. Set myself a wee problem. To mate with 2 nights.
Night, King's Bishop 5. King to Rook Square. Knight to Knight 5. King to Knight Square. Knight to King 7. Check. King to Rook Square. Knight to Bishop 7. Meet.
I've been working at that for hours. Something a wee bit kind of fishy about that brilliant move, Doctor.
You should consider the young doctor's feelings, Dr. Cameron. There's no call for swank.
Woman, am I to suppress 40 years' experience to protect a junior partner's vanity?
What the hell's that?
Oh, Doctor,
It's coming, Doctor! Oh.
Is there anyone with her, Janet?
Not a soul, Doctor. She must have walked 7 miles on a night like this.
Mrs. McBain, where's your husband?
Not in his house.
Into the surgery. Call the farm, Janet.
Oh, Doctor! Oh, no! Oh, Doctor!
Come on. Hold your tongue, woman. Come on.
Doctor!
All right, it's all right. Cut the clothes off.
This is urgent. I can find you didn't listen in, but you canna help overhearing. Where is Mr. McBain?
He's away to Perth to look at a bull. He rang me early tonight to say he was hanging on.
Oh, what for? Is the man daft?
Oh, to look at another bull. He'd drive back in the morning.
But her time's come.
Oh, she's a fortnight early.
Thank you. Good night to you.
He's only half conscious, you know.
Smelling salts on the desk. Come in.
He's away to Perth, Doctor, and he won't be back before the morning. The exchange says she's a fortnight early.
Is there anything they don't know?
Someone picked up the phone at the farm a few hours ago and put it down again without speaking.
Thank you, Janet.
Uh-huh.
Hot water and a pile of old newspapers.
Aye, and a cradle.
What was it she said when I dragged her in?
Not in his house.
Well, she's going to have to settle for this one.
The head's engaged.
Thank God it's normal.
Oh, Doctor.
boy.
Oh, don't.
Uh-huh. Thank you. Oh. Here's to young McBain.
And his mother.
Oh. What about the father? Thank you.
Not in his house.
What's McBain been up to?
Do you know the man?
No, not well. Spoke to him once about stock breeding.
It's his business. That's all he talks about. He won't write the child's name in the family Bible. Will he put it into McBain's stud book? He's not a father, he's a sire. And the irony it is, he's lucky to be a father at all.
Irony, why?
When he was 22, he had the worst attack of mumps I've ever seen in a grown man. They've been married for 10 years and never a sign of a child till now.
Did he know why before?
I told him. He didn't believe it. They never do. Told her too. Man, I had to. Damn fool sense of guilt. McBain was making it worse. He wants a son as other men want life. There's been McBains in this farm for the last 300 years. You know the daft way they have. And Mrs. McBain crying out for a child, a boy or a girl, what did it matter to her? For all that, she never blamed him, never a word. So she knew.
Why didn't they adopt a boy?
I told you, McBain. Only the McBains have 2 legs. The rest of us are monsters. Even the gentry have more sense. They talk breeding but marry money.
No, don't let him come here. No, doctor.
No, it's all right.
Doctor,
It's all right, Mr. McBain.
Doctor.
No.
She was crying. I told her not to worry. We'd get Mr. McBain as soon as possible.
Keep him out.
You don't have to see anyone but the child. He's a braw lad. Just think on him and go to sleep.
Don't let McBain see him. He's not the father.
He's still a braw lad.
It would be.
I can't stop him from seeing the child. Why should I? I have to stop him from seeing her, or we have a mental case on our hands.
Aye.
Can't shift her now. We'll have her wait at the cottage hospital in the morning with the matron. I'm told.
You're going to tell him that he's not the father?
I will not. When she's herself, she may change her mind. Women are queer cattle. Oh, it's just a figure of speech.
May! May! Ross! Ross! Aye! Where's the mistress?
I'd like fine to know. I made my own breakfast.
What do you mean, man?
What I say, Mistress McBain wasn't here when I come in for my breakfast. But by her hat and coat's gone.
Oh, it's not due for a fortnight. Did you not hear the ambulance or the doctor's car?
I heard the dogs, I said last night. I heard nothing else. It was blowing like hell, but I heard the dogs whimper. I went out to the yard. I saw nothing.
Was the light on in here?
Aye.
What did you do then?
I went back to the buyer.
Ardenhouse? Yes, Mr. McBain. It's a boy, Mr. McBain, and Mrs. McBain is at the cottage hospital. I told him where he might catch Dr. Cameron. Has she changed her mind, Doctor?
Oh, I broached the subject delicately. It took the sister and I to hold her.
Do you think it's true, Doctor, or is it just the upset of childbirth? They
Well,
say the blood goes to the head.
if it isn't true, she wishes it were. That's what the psychologists would say.
And why would she wish a thing like that? Have they anything to say on that subject?
What?
No matter, Doctor. If you've finished in the surgery, I'd like to get on with my dusting.
All right, Janet. Don't let the blood go to your head, will you?
Do you want a carrier on a rock? Sure, that's the one for you. An outside Irish jaunting car, just painted green and blue. It belongs to Larry Doolin, and you'll have to travel far to find the better driver of an Irish jaunting car. The fare is 15 pence, but as the journey isn't far. Dublin shore, you'll find me on the stand. I'll take you to the
Which
strand.
one the old girls poorly?
Ah, Mr. McLennan, I'm sorry. The word's not been passed along the road.
That's her age, that's all. Can't expect to live forever. The doctor's with her now, more company than cure.
'Tis a comfort.
Which is that? You're early this year, Tim.
Ah, well, I come with the weather, although there is some say the weather follows me.
What kind of weather follows you, Tim?
Ah, Dr. Cameron. High summer, Doctor, and the oats up to your eye. Soft winds by day and by night, a whispering of falling stars.
The same old blarney, Tim. I'm getting old. The years go by too fast. And I hope your mother's no worse and no better. You wouldn't expect it.
I would not. But she likes a crack with the doctor.
You know, Doctor, if you bottled your company, your fortune would be made.
You could put a price on your own.
You know, I'll not deny it.
He opens his mouth and I walk right into it. What you brought this year, Tim?
Frankincense and myrrh, although they were bought on the road by a Baptist minister. Are you out of collar studs, Doctor?
What would I do with a dozen?
Well, what would you do with one? You'd drop it, and where would it roll?
I could tell you.
No, Doctor, you know, I wouldn't lie to flatter you, but it's 5 years since you stooped.
10.
Oh, no, would you yell for Janet and you standing there in your shirt tail? You would not. For the sight of a shirt tail would drive her from the house, a decent woman like that. Now, if you dropped one of these now, you would take one from the cart, and everyone's feelings are spared.
How much?
5 shillings.
Studs, 5p apiece.
Oh, they're pure gold, Irish gold, from the same mine, the same mint that knew the harp of Tara.
A shilling. Another one, and I'll want the harp of Tara thrown in.
Ah, no, didn't I sell that to a Welsh bard at Murrayfield and him half cut? All right, Doctor, now don't rob yourself of change. I'll personally deliver them to Arden House. Janet will give me a bob from the housekeeping.
Far from opening time. Come round the side door.
Deliver indeed. A free meal from Janet. And maybe a wee dram of my best scotch.
Ah, no, Doctor, you know, I only drink beer.
No hints, Tim. It's far from out my opening time.
Ah, more's the pity. I'm as dry as a parson's pond.
Mr. McBain looking for your doctor. You fed the nag, Tim.
Mr. McBain,
Tim.
could I...
Bloody tinkers, the curse of the countryside. Oh, Doctor, I've been to the hospital. They won't let me see Meg.
Did you see the bed?
I have a boy at last. Man, if you knew.
Mr. McBain, your wife's not well.
What's amiss, Doctor? I know she's a fortnight early, but...
It's not that. The truth is, she's not herself yet.
Are you telling me she's... Doctor, is this physical?
No, it is not.
I see.
Childbirth can be very disturbing.
Aye, women are queer cattle.
I'll never use that phrase again.
Huh?
No matter.
How bad is Meg, Doctor? I mean, how soon before she's back to normal?
I'll give her a few days.
It's a bit of a facer. There's nothing like this in Meg's family. Very steady stock.
Did you inquire before you married?
Oh, I did that.
Mr. McBain, do you love your wife?
I'd do that, and I'd like fine to see her.
I believe you do.
I should damn well think you would.
You have an unfortunate turn of phrase, Mr. McBain. I beg your pardon if I was impertinent. Ram, I'm off. Get Tim to have a wee crack with your mother. She once told me she'd like to die laughing.
You could die worse.
Aye.
Good day to you, Doctor.
Good day.
Did you hear McBain? He called me the curse of the countryside.
So you are, Tim. Does he drinks the curse too? Usual.
Yeah.
For by he's upset. His wife taking him with a child. Something wrong, it seems.
Wrong?
Why is McBain chasing the doctor? Now you. No doubt it'll all come out in the wash.
Aye. They do. Oh, lovely.
Well, we'll take the wee laddie back to where he belongs now, sister. You back again, Mr. McBain. Did Dr. Cameron not explain to you?
He did, Dr. Finlay. I'd just like to be here in case Meg asks for me.
I'd like a word with you. Would you come into the duty room?
Sister, I heard McBain's voice, I did.
Mr. McBain won't come in here.
You have no letter, Mother Baron.
At him. Mrs. McBain, your husband has seen the bairn twice. He dotes on him. He says he's the image of his father.
His father!
Mrs. McBain, babies can't abide loud noises. Now listen to me. You're as strong as a horse. There's nothing wrong with you except a bad conscience and fright. If you let loose again, so help me God, I'll belt you one. It's the routine treatment for hysteria. There's nothing in the textbooks about my enjoying it, but there's nothing against it either.
You're unfeeling.
I'm no an amateur.
Aye, well, the question is, who is the father?
He has no legal right. McBain had access, so she can't bastardize her own child. However, I grant you the question is of more than academic interest. When McBain is told, his reaction, though basically determined by imprecise information, is likely to be affected by specification documentation. A woman here goes by the book. The stud book. Now, if it were Eugene Sander, he might even be willing to pay a stud fee.
Has he been around here, Doctor?
I do not know. Who was? If she were a town-bred trollop, I shouldn't try, but she's no trollop and she lives in an isolated farm. There are the farm hands.
Oh, never, Doctor. I'm farm-bred myself. A farmer's wife and a labourer? No. She wouldn't demean herself.
And it's commercial travellers. Fertilizers.
It's a point. Here today and gone tomorrow. You bear in mind, Meg loves her husband. She was doing him a favour and giving him an ear. She wouldn't take a local, someone who could...
Point the finger of scorn?
Oh, a splendid phrase, Janet. I congratulate you.
Well, over the bend's as good as the next county here. Might have been a farmer.
And there's McGilvery and Thompson.
Oh, they're over 60. They couldn't raise a gallop between the pair of them.
What kind of joke is that coming from an old maid?
I may be old, Doctor, but I've had my day.
16 years in my service, and I never knew till now. Dr. Finlay, you did not hear it.
Just one thing and then it's forgotten.
What?
Good for her.
Come in. Tim O'Shea. Oh, well, your nose tells you the time of day. If not the time of year, you're early.
The sap is long risen, and Tim O'Shea too far from Janet McPherson, the belle of Pennockbray.
Well, you haven't changed. But you'll no convince me I'm a green branch, Tim, sing how you may. You're wasting your time.
Well, me time's me own, and it's yours without the asking. I lay the seasons at your feet.
Ah, well, I better just watch where I'm going for fear of tripping. I'll tell Dr. Cameron you hear. He can find how to blarney him.
Bless the man, he knows now. Didn't I sell him these are the drovers not an hour since?
How much?
A shilling.
A shilling? Twopence the studs and tenpence the blarney. Oh.
Well, there was an old woman dying and a young one greeting. He was glad of the singing word.
Oh, why. That'll be Rab's mother and McBain's wife. Meg McBain of Craigmore. You've a quick ear for the gossip, Tim.
Well, it all goes in the pack. They're glad of it and the lonely farms.
You're a service in the hills, I'll no deny that.
Well, they'll have to do without it from this day.
Oh?
I'm
What's
leaving
this?
Scotland.
Oh, I didn't believe you.
Well, have you not heard? I'm the curse of the country.
Who's the daft fool that said that?
McBain of Craigmore.
Oh.
Bloody tinkers, he says. The curse of the countrysides.
When was this?
At the drovers. Oh, he came in all spit and sweat, but he found time and temper to curse Tim O'Shea. Now, what would he have against me, I wonder?
Well, no. If every tinker that was ever cursed left Scotland, there'd be a great bustle at the border and 1,000 vans choking the road to Carlisle. What ails you? No blarney.
I'm getting too old for the road.
Oh, you'll die in a ditch when you're 80. It's the way you've chosen.
There's no choice for a man with two shadows.
Or 3. Tim, when were you here last?
The sap shrunk in the tree and the leaves fallen.
You'll have to tell somebody, Tim.
I was burning a hole in my heart.
The doctors will be wanting their put.
But Janet...
There'll be some for you, Tim. And a little bit of pie first.
What's for the pudding?
We'll know when it comes.
Huh?
You've taken your time, woman.
Hey, you think it worth waiting for, Doctor?
I know it'll be good. I doubt if it'll be hot.
Oh, he's a rare man, not a wise man who expects it good and hot.
You have the smug look, Janet. I know it well.
Hey?
I smell trouble out with it, woman.
It's just a wee thought, Doctor.
It always is.
There's just one name you've left off your list of candidates. Just one man that can go to Craigmore when the good man's away and not a word said.
Now, who can that be?
Oh. Oh. Doctor.
What's the joke?
Ads, it is a tactical error to call Janet an old maid. She was bound to get her own back.
I know I reap what I sow, but who's the man I forgot?
I think she meant you.
A joke in very bad taste.
All the best ones are.
You will bear in mind, Janet, that I am a doctor. There are jokes that are not made in a doctor's household.
The sap shrunk in the trees and the leaves fallen.
What?
I've Tim O'Shea in the kitchen with something on his mind, and it's not his conscience, not Tim O'Shea.
My God, you've got it.
I have not. Meg McBain's got it.
Bring him in.
You're pudding.
To hell with the pudding. Bring him in.
I'd give a guinea for a seat in the stalls, eh?
Mr. O'Shea, Doctor?
Ah, no, Doctor, you no cause to worry, no cause at all. I've delivered the studs to Miss McPherson.
The stud man.
Tim, why have you called at my house? The truth, if you please.
Oh, no, Doctor, would you have me go through Tannoch Bray without sight nor sound of Miss McPherson, without a wee crack in the kitchen there with the kindest voice in Scotland, and the chance of a good dinner under me belt for the hungry road? Huh?
You came for information, Tim.
Ah, yes. Well, there is always that, too. The good wives in the hills say that I'm better than the Tannoch Bray advertiser. I tell them all the bits the paper leaves out. It's good for the trade.
The better with the advertiser. There's no consequences. You came here to confirm what you've already guessed.
Huh?
Your time at the Drovers wasn't wasted.
Ah, no, Doctor, you have me moithered with words.
Man,
You know,
you're
I
as
don't-
Scots as I am, for all your father crossed the water. Talk Scots and stop blethering. Who fathered Meg McBain's bairn?
Well, haven't you asked McBain?
I've done better, I've asked Meg. The game's up, Tim. If you come here to find out if you're in trouble, the answer's yes. Give the man a drink, Janet. Sit down. First aid for father's in a state of shock. Did you know the situation in that house?
Oh, I've known it for years. Everybody knows about McBain's mumps for here to John O'Groats. I couldn't answer for the Outer Hebrides, but I wouldn't be surprised. It's no a kind world when it's time for laughing.
Is Meg fond of you, Tim?
Well, they mostly are. Oh, but if you mean she was in love with me, no. She kept that for McBain. She'd do anything for him.
Even this?
Oh, there's no understanding women.
Did she take the initiative?
What? Oh, well, I see what you mean. Yes, you could put it that way. Look, Doctor, I just gave her the line I give them all. Mr. McBain, I said, spring is that much nearer for the sight of you. Never tell me the leaves are falling. When Meg of Craigmore passes by, the wood and enemies stir in the black mould of the beeches. Ah, lucky the good man that has you in his arms. How the hell was I to know she'd take me up on it? Man, I was raped where I stood.
Tim, you're in Tannock 3 months before your time. Why? I mean, what's it to you? You don't intend to claim the child, I hope.
Oh, no, I certainly do not.
Then why?
No, it's the lay of the land, Doctor. Look, Doctor, it's my business. If Meg talks, I'm ruined.
You're ruined.
Look, it's the women I sell to. Every one of them thinks the Blarney's for her alone. They're a guy respectable lot. They know that I'm a so far and no further man.
Kind of licensed teaser, eh?
Well, yes. That's what I am. I give them the half-best of both worlds. If one got the lot, then every door would be shut in my face, whereby the husbands would leave word with the dogs. Look, Dr. Cameron, it's not the money. That's just enough for the booze. No, it's the free meals, the bed over the byre. If I lost my run, I'd lie hard and cold next winter.
You would that, Tim O'Shea. Times it's a woman's world, and God help the men in it.
There's worse yet. McBain might say, away ye go to your dirty tinker and take that bairn with ye. Well, I don't mind obliging, Doctor, but I mean, I'm no a family man.
You would take them, though, Tim?
Oh, well, couldn't leave them in the lurch.
For that, Tim, much will be forgiven you.
Arden House. Aye, it's for you, Dr. Cameron.
Dr. Cameron. One moment.
Oh, Tim, I'd like a word with you. Would you come into the surgery, please?
Yes, sister.
I've had quite enough, Doctor, and so has the patient. Mr. McBain is here demanding to be let in. His wife can hear him, and she's carrying on inside. And the bairn. I will not take the responsibility. Either you deal with Mr. McBain yourself, or I call the police. I will not have a hullabaloo in my hospital.
Tell Mr. McBain I'll be along right away. With your permission, sister, I'll use the duty room. Mr. McBain. Stop that noise if you have to use ether. Mr. McBain, you're behaving very badly.
Now, look here.
You will apologize to sister in due course. In the meantime, you will listen to me.
I'll do
I want to
nothing.
talk to you about your wife's condition.
And you will listen to me.
one persistent interrupter, silence at last.
Not with ether, I hope.
You may be sure of that. In your case, it may well be necessary. Thank you. Mr. McBain, I have not good news for you. I think I made it clear to you without alarming you and Julie that your wife was distressed, distraught.
You didn't. It's not uncommon. I thought you made too much of it.
Mr. McBain, I very deliberately made very little of it.
You what?
Well, let me go on. I barred you from the ward, not because the patient needed to be undisturbed. She asked for you to be excluded.
Oh, it's no uncommon either. And put one arm round him and they forget all that nonsense.
You have not been told that the bairn was not born here.
Not born here?
It was born in my house last night. It was delivered by Dr. Finlay and me. Mr. McBain, your wife walked to my house rather than call me and have the baby in yours.
I don't understand.
It appears to be a point of honor. You see, Meg believes that you're not the bairn's father.
No, mine. Meg says that.
Yes.
No, mine. And you believe her?
I note what she says.
You know the daft fancies of a woman in childbirth. Man, you're old enough to know better, and you're too old to know anything at all.
Mr. McBain, I'm old enough to treat you courteously.
Oh, man, you believe every word you say. The tone you use, you believe it.
Please, Lord.
You believe that of my Meg?
Mr. McBain, you are making a disturbance in this hospital. Will you please go?
I'll go, but I'll be back when Meg's better. And you have not disturbed my peace, Doctor. Never fear that. I beg your pardon, sister.
He didn't believe it.
No, and the man's utterly sincere. It didn't even occur to him to ask who Meg said the father was. Do you mind if I use your phone, sister?
Do.
Get me... this is Dr. Cameron. I always forget the number of my own house.
Hello, Dr. Finlay?
I've told him. Now, I want to get a bed in Glasgow for her. I can't talk to a consultant over a Tannochbury telephone. Did you hear that?
I did, aye. You want me to consult Shaw in Glasgow, then?
Yes, I do.
Right. As a matter of fact, it suits me anyway.
I don't doubt it.
Good morning.
I'd like to see Mr. McBain, sister.
Very well, Doctor. Will you be needing me?
No. He's gone, Meg. Relax. Now tell me about Tim.
You know.
He's back. You asked too many questions. Tell me about it.
Thank God. I thought I'd have to carry it to the grave. Years. I don't think he ever believed it was his fault.
Sully Ward, it's nobody's fault.
He never said a hard word to me. But I knew. I'd let him down. I'd let Craigmore down. Whatever I did nothing. But I couldn't give him a bairn. Not even a daughter. Well, that might have been worse. Oh, Doctor, have you ever felt guilty for 10 years and nothing said? And then it looked like it might be forever. So I took Tim. Here today, gone tomorrow.
And that's all?
It is not.
No, it couldn't be. You're fond of Tim.
If I'd hated every minute of it, I'd be in my own house now, McBain happy and nobody the wiser. Is that all? Man, it's no as simple as that. My bairn was born in wedlock, but he's a loved child for all that. And I'm no sorry. Tim doesn't give a damn about his breeding. And I know the way a child should be born.
Aye.
How can I live with McBain if I'm no sorry? Oh, you can forget the daft moment when you were desperate. But you can't forget you're no sorry.
You can live with that too, Meg.
You'll have to be told. But not by me. I'll be watching his face. And that's something McBain will no forget. No man could. I cannot tell him. But he must be told. About Tim.
Job for me. Meg, I'll be watching his face too. He'll not forget that.
You're not married to him. You won't be there night and day.
I've known dirtier jobs, but not many.
You're a doctor.
I'm a man. Very well.
Mr. McBain, Thompson's bull, it broke down the mountain wall, got into your pasture. Man, he's played hell with your records. You greeting? I never saw that before in a grown man.
Is anything amiss?
Do you know the answer to that question, Miss McPherson? Is Dr. Cameron in?
It's very late, Mr. McBain.
Aye, but not too late.
Is Mr. McBain to see you, Doctor?
Come in, Mr. McBain. Sit down, McBain.
You're no helping me much.
I'd like to. Indeed, I tried.
I'm sorry I flew off the handle.
In the same situation, I'd have behaved much worse.
It's not a situation you've known.
Obviously, no.
Or felt.
I'm not quite sure at the moment what situation you have in mind. Perhaps you, too, have doubts.
My God, man, why do you think I'm here?
I think you're here because you are tormented. You've been sitting too long alone.
I have been letting my imagination run away with me. I'm glad I came down.
Man, there's no comfort here but the bottle.
You still believe it, then?
Meg's told me his name. Drink up, McBain.
Doctor, what has he said to you?
What's he said to me? Woman, I'm operating on him without anesthetic. Where the hell's Finlay? Would he laugh at this?
Doctor.
And where's your bloody tinker now?
He's getting drunk, I dare say.
Do you recommend it?
Not for you, Doctor.
And I'm not finished yet. I have to put the spear in his side.
Who was it?
Timothy.
Take your hands off. Sit down. A tinker. My wife in my bed.
What the hell does it matter where? Like it's not the kitchen floor. Truth. Let's have our bellyful of the truth. It was Meg, not Tim, that wanted it. Now let a woman do this to me.
You.
Meg asked me to tell you. Man, I could have drawn out the night sparing you, but no one spares me. You call the hospital and you'll find Meg sleeping.
Ah, good evening, Mr. McBain. Dr. Cameron, could I have a word with you, please?
Yes, yes. Don't go. There are arrangements to be made. Excuse me. Janet. See if Mr. McBain has a drink.
I don't.
Yes.
Look, I've taken blood samples from the bairn, from Mr. McBain, Mrs. McBain, and from Tim O'Shea.
Indeed.
I had the blood groups determined in Glasgow. Man, these blood groups you can see for yourself.
You know perfectly well I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, these blood groups prove that Mr. McBain couldn't possibly have been the father of the child. They also prove that Tim O'Shea could have been. The group's right. So Mrs. McBain was telling the truth.
I never doubted it.
I did.
Why?
On principle. We had no evidence except for the subjective opinions of the interested parties.
The result's the same?
Yes, but now we're sure of our facts.
Why did you do this, Dr. Finlay?
There was something scratching at the back of my mind. I looked up the journals and found it. It's Landsteiner's work in Germany. Do you not remember? The system was worked out there. It was published in 1924.
I do not remember.
Aye, there was a legal action about it that year.
In Scotland?
No, in Germany.
Dr. Finlay, I have reached the age when I read and forget what is not relevant to my life. Why didn't you tell me you were doing this?
Oh, I wasn't sure. I had to mug it up. I'd have looked a fool if...
Knight to Bishop 7. Check.
What?
I must say, Mr. McBain, perhaps you would demand the hospitality of Janet's kitchen.
Ah, now, Doctor,
If you please. Thank you, Janet. Dr. Finlay is reading your larder.
We'll see about that.
Mr. McBain, I'm about to give you a further cause to dislike me.
I don't think I can take it.
Dr. Finlay took a sample of your blood this morning.
Is there something wrong?
No, there's nothing wrong. He took 4 samples in all. I have to inform you that laboratory tests prove quite conclusively that Tim O'Shea is not the father of your child.
Not?
He could not possibly be the father of your child. The blood's the wrong kind.
It is Bairns of McBain.
I state it as a fact, or rather a very proper inference, not as a virtue.
By God, man, I've had enough of your palaver. Why should I listen to you? You're the old fool who took its truth the delusions of a woman in childbirth. Aye, and crucified me with daft fancies. Man, do you recall what happened in this room that night?
I am never likely to forget it.
Aye, and I'm no likely to forgive it. Man, I've a boy bit for that. You'd have the back of my hand for your teeth and my boot for your posterior.
You had better leave.
Aye, well, you'll not keep me from Meg now.
You will see Meg in the morning after she's learned the truth from me.
I'll tell her myself.
She will believe me.
Ah.
Dr. Finlay, when you're finished, we'll go to the Drover's Arms.
Was the old girl going, is she?
I want to get hold of Tim O'Shea and tell him you've proved that he couldn't be the father of the McBain child.
He couldn't be.
Yes. If he's drunk, put him under the pump. But get it into his head.
That's not true.
Nevertheless.
Is that what you've told Mr. McBain?
Yes. Have you any objection?
No. I'll bet he's like a dog with two tails. Wonder what he'll call the bairn, eh? Maybe Aberdeen Angus. Son, I've had enough to eat. I'll go down there now.
Good morning, sister.
Good morning, Mr. McBain. Dr. Cameron's with your wife.
Aye, but not for long, I doubt. Could I see the bairn while I'm waiting?
Mrs. McBain has the bairn.
He's well.
He is that. He bellows like a bull.
It's in the family. You should have heard his grandfather. Oh, and I can raise a roof myself when I try.
Hey?
You weren't a fortnight early, Meg. You were dead on time.
So when, Tim?
Aye.
Doctor, you're sure?
No mistake, Meg. This way, you can't prove who a man's father was. Only who ought to be. But you can prove who wasn't.
McBain. He's pleased.
He's riding high. Shall I let him in?
Aye.
You can go in now, Mr. McBain.
He's changed his tune, Dr. Cameron.
Aye. If you'll come into the duty room, I'll tell you why.
So that's why Dr. Finlay took blood samples. Of course, one has heard of the system. But,
It's not common yet. But we're not behind the times in Tannock Place, sister. Far from it.
And what about the rest of the story?
We'll never know.
They do have strange fancies.
Aye, women are queer cattle.
Indeed. Well, I'm not a cow, Doctor.
You'll no mind if I take another peep. You can't mistake it.
What?
It's the curve of the nostrils. 3 of my brothers have got it. Oh, Meg, how could you be such a fool? He's a McBain breed. It's a stock you can't mistake.
Out of it! Come on, out! Mrs. McBain!
Leave it to me, sister. Me. What is it? What is it?
I wish it was Tim.
Was a great day for me, mother, the day that I was born, as she looked upon the features of her laddie, for the memory always there in his nose and eyes and hair of all the men who might have been his daddy. La-da-dee, 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 la-da, la-da-dee, la-da, la-da-da-da.